Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to a weekend review, reviewing a big weekend of Premier League and Championship action, starting off at Anfield. And it's a professional performance by Liverpool, I think that's the phrase for this sort of performance, as they dispatched Watford by 2-0. A goal on either side of half-time, one from Jota and one from Fabinho from the spot right at the end. But a good solid win for Liverpool, they'll be pleased with that. I mean, maybe a bit difficult, just hanging on at the 1-0 for so long. But still, they dominated the game, definitely deserved the victory, and they game marching on. Moving on then to Wolves, as they defeated Villa 2-1 at Molineux. Goal from Johnny and an Ashley Young own goal in the first half gave Wolves a flying start. Villa got a late consolation goal later on, but Wolves will be very happy with that. They put in a really solid performance now, and it still keeps their European hopes alive. For Villa, their season in the top half, that's got to be the goal, but I hope their season just doesn't peter out into mid-table mediocrity, but that seems to be what's happening. Moving on then to Leeds 1, Southampton 1 at Ellen Road. Harrison with a goal in the 29th minute, and Ward-Prowse with a goal in the 49th minute levels things up. Ward-Prowse, just brilliant set pieces once again. On the whole, this was quite an even game, I would say. Maybe Southampton are slightly better with the game. Draw probably the fair result. I think both teams will be relatively content. Leeds, they're edging away from the relegation zone now. I think they'll be fine. But Southampton in 11th, mid-table. Moving on then to definitely the shock of the weekend, as Chelsea were humiliated 4-1 at home by Brentford. Rudiger gave Chelsea in the 48th minute. You thought it would be comfortable, but no. Jan out with a brace. Visa and Christian Eriksen, so good to see him on the score sheet with the goals for Brentford, sealing a famous win for them, you'd have to say. Just brilliant to see, and Brentford really turned it around after going on that dodgy run, and they're safe now. For Chelsea, though, this is so disappointing for them, really. Moving on then to Leeds, Burnley 0, Manchester City 2 at Turf Moor. De Bruyne with a goal in the 5th minute, and Gundogan with a goal in the 25th minute sealed the win for Manchester City. And this is exactly what Manchester City would have wanted. 2 early games, get the game killed. They did exactly that. They can they could have rest players for their 2 huge games this week. So they'll be very pleased with that. And gives them the title lead for another week. Moving on then to Brighton, as they drew 0-0 at home with Norwich. Key moment of the game really came in the 29th minute when Neil Maupay missed a penalty. And on the whole, Brighton, it was ridiculous. 31 goal attempts, but only 4 shots on target. And this is what we said so much here at Brighton in recent years. They play well, all seem good, but they just need to stick the ball in the back of the net more. And you could just see based on those statistics just how wasteful their strikers were, really. So disappointing, but for Norwich it's a decent point, but it's probably too little too late. Moving on then to the late game on Saturday, and that was Manchester United 1, Leicester 1 at Old Trafford. Kelechi Iheanacho gave Leicester lead in the 63rd minute before Fred equalised just a few minutes later. Maddison thought he got the win in the 80th minute, but it was disallowed via VAR. For United, this was just so lacklustre. For me, Leicester were the better team here. United, I just don't think they've got any hope of top 4 now. But for Leicester, this is a really good performance, more of what we've seen in the past few seasons. Moving on then to West Ham 2, Everton 1 at the London Stadium. Cresswell with the goal for West Ham in the 32nd minute gave them the lead before Holgate equalised. Bowen in the 58th minute scored, and Keane in the 65th minute got sent off, and that all ended Everton's hopes. Keane, I've been thinking it for a while. He just hasn't been that good recently. He's been really poor, just letting his side down once again. I don't think it would have made too much difference, but still, Everton in a desperate situation. Moving on then to Tottenham 5, Newcastle 1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Newcastle actually went ahead in the 39th minute before goals from Davies just before half-time, and then after half-time, Doherty, Son, Emerson and Bergwijn. No Harry Kane on the score sheet, which was surprising, but still a brilliant victory for Tottenham. And if you thought the Champions League battle was over, if Tottenham can get those showings consistently, then it's most definitely not over. For Newcastle, they need to pick it up. That was back to the first half of the season. Palace 3, Arsenal 0 was the score on Monday in the Premier League in a shock result for the Gunners and one that won't hurt their top four charge at all. The goals came early in the first half, or at least two of them, through Mateta and Ayew. Zaha in the 74th minute from the spot also gave Palace the victory. And yeah, Palace were absolutely outstanding here, but this was so poor from Arsenal. Hopefully it's just a one-off after the break. I still think they are in a good position for the Champions League spot, but boy oh boy do they need to improve on this. They were really, really poor here. So yeah, definitely a concerning one for Palace, though outstanding. Moving on then to the Championship games this weekend, and it finished Hull 0, Huddersfield 1 at the KCOM Stadium. Tom Hughes was sent off in the first half stoppage time, and Huddersfield in the second half really pressing for the goal that were given the lead, and they eventually found it in the 79th minute through Harry Toffolo. And yeah, great result for Huddersfield. I mean, they rode their luck a bit, obviously dominated the game, but yeah, really you'd expected the goal to go in probably a bit earlier, but you know, still, the win was still huge, and it was showed in the post-match celebrations, and yeah, puts them in a strong position once again. Moving on then to absolute domination station from Forest at Blackpool, as they won 4-1. Goals from Zinchenko and two from Brendan Johnson, and Sam Surridge gave Forest a 4-0 lead. Connolly in the 89th minute got a consolation for Blackpool, but you know, still there's nowhere near enough. A dominant showing from Forest, and yeah, they're really showing their playoff credentials now, and they've got to be definitely one of the favourites to get in there now based on that showing. Still got games in hand, they're looking really, really good. For Blackpool though, kind of been petering out now. Moving on then to Stoke, as they defeated Sheffield United 1-0, and yeah, John Egan with the goal in the 77th minute, an own goal it was of course, and yeah, for Sheffield United, it was a close game to be honest. I would have probably said a draw was a fair result, but for Sheffield United, yeah, I mean, like, it's just before the international break, these sort of funny results kind of came in, and yeah, it started to cost them now because playoffs are starting to look quite tough for them. They definitely need to pick up. Moving on then to Fulham, as they secured a 2-0 win away at QPR. Mitrovic in the 14th minute and in the 78th minute gave Fulham when of course Mitrovic is going to be scoring. I mean, like, the man's just been absolutely incredible this season. And yeah, for Fulham it was probably a deserved win. Yeah, good win for them, but for QPR though, it's just a playoff drive petering out again. There are rumours that Mark Warburton could be on the verge of the sack. I still think it would be incredibly harsh, but yeah, it is disappointing how this is kind of petering out their season. Moving on then to Peterborough 0, Borough 4 at the Western Home Stadium. Tavernier, Balogun, Coburn and Watmore with the goals for Borough, and yeah, this was dominant for Borough, and yeah, kind of like what I said about Forest before, yeah, just really turning on the heat on when it matters. They're in the playoffs now, still got game in hand on most of the teams around them except for Forest, and they're looking really, really strong, aren't they now? Definitely favourites against the class. For Peterborough, I think they're all but down. Moving on then to Luton 2, Millwall 2 in a great game at Kenilworth Road. Bradshaw gave Millwall lead in the 25th minute, but Adebayo equalised in the 33rd minute, and then Afobe in the 81st gave Millwall lead once again, and then just a few minutes later, straight away again, Cooper with an own goal gave Luton a point. And yeah, for Luton, kind of playing catch up in this game, maybe just a bit rusty after the international break, but for Millwall though, we've seen they have been impressive recently, and yeah, good point, but after going ahead twice, I think they'll be disappointed. Moving on then to Derby 1, Preston 0 at Pride Park, and yeah, two red cards in this game. Lindsay and Bird, one for each side, and yeah, kind of left it even for a while, and it was even in terms of the scoreline until the 80th minute when Ravel Morrison scored what could be a critical goal for Derby, and obviously Derby's form was really poor just before the break, and that's left them with a lot of work to do, but you know, Barnes and Reading both dropping points. I mean, like, could they? You never know. Moving on then to Coventry then, as they secured a very late equaliser against Blackburn to earn a 2-2 draw. Pickering gave Coventry lead with an own goal in the 8th minute. There seems to be a lot of own goals this week. Dak scored right after half time in the 46th minute to equalise, and Walton thought he'd won it for Blackburn in the 82nd minute, but Gokares in the 99th minute got the equaliser for Coventry, and that's a huge goal, probably more so for Blackburn than anything else. Yeah, real massive blow to their playoff hopes. For Coventry though, keeps them in it just about maybe. Moving on then to Cardiff 0, Swansea 4. An incredible day for Swansea fans at the Cardiff City Stadium. Obafemi Kabango, Wolf and Obafemi again with the goals for Swansea. And yeah, where's the Swansea been all season? I mean, brilliant performance. yeah, so great to see this. This is what they can be like when they're at their best. For Cardiff, though, this is really disappointing, and the fans will not be happy in the slightest, I can imagine, after such a big game and performing like that. Moving on then to Bournemouth, as they defeated Bristol City 3-2 at the Vitality in a bit of a crazy game. Atkinson gave Bristol lead in the 4th minute before Solanke pulled one back 5 minutes before half time. Cook and Dembele gave Bournemouth a 3-1 lead. But Vyman in the 92nd minute made it 3-2, and Bournemouth just about held on. I mean, like, Bournemouth, they made a bit of a meal of it, but in a game which they should be winning. No disrespect to Bristol, but still a good win for them, and they're getting ever closer now, aren't they? Moving on into Barnsley 1, Reading 1 at Oakwell. Carlton Morris gave Barnsley lead in the 5th minute in this crucial relegation encounter, and it looked like Barnsley would hold on, but no, in the 82nd minute, Josh Laurent with a crucial goal for Reading keeps the gap at 5 points. It would have been down to 2. Just an absolutely massive game and a massive result for Reading. I think they'll definitely be happy with the 2. They're definitely in the driving seat with the advantage they've got. For Barnsley, I think they'll be really disappointed with that. Moving on then to Birmingham 1, West Brom 0 in the derby on Sunday in the Championship. And a really great result for Birmingham. Lyle Taylor with a second half penalty in the 67th minute. So they'll be delighted with that. For West Brom though, I mean, like, their playoff hopes were all but over, I think. But still a disappointing performance. They would have been looking to build some momentum towards the end of the season. For Birmingham, really great result for them. They've enjoyed a tough time recently, so to get the win against their rivals is always good. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. To like, share, subscribe, and your thoughts, comments down below. Follow us on subscribe for daily football news and subscribe to the channel going on. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.